Three, two, one, and we are back for another episode. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have a special guest today. This guy is probably one of the most quality men, both in his field and in life, period. Today we have the privilege to speak with my good friend, coach of TFW Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and one of the head coaches for the Parisi Speed School System, Mr. Eric Mitchell. Eric, my man, thank you so much for coming on today. Say what's up. Let everybody know a little bit about you so we can break the ice and people can know why you're on The Experience.
Amir, thank you for having me on, man. You're one of my closest friends, and it's an honor to be on your podcast. Just really excited to be here. My background, just so that people out there know, I've been in this performance-based field for 27 years now. Have owned my own speed and agility company in the Philadelphia area, and then bought a Parisi Speed School at the tail end of 2005, and had the privilege of cutting my teeth with Martin Rooney. And the moment Martin announced that he was going to be doing Training for Warriors, I jumped on it. And in fact, I found out that we were the first affiliate to come on board in his system, because I knew right away what Martin was building and the culture that he was building. And my focus for many years was a lot of NFL Combine training, a lot of team training, a lot of individual athlete training, and was not really doing a whole lot in the adult market other than some personal training. And it's now morphed into, we just opened up a brand new facility after 11 years in the same spot, and 7,000 square foot speed school and TFW dojo. And it's just growing and growing and growing. And to be a part of this network, it's obviously how I met you, Amir. To be a part of this network and the quality of character that's here has further fueled my career to make me a better coach, better parent, a better son, everything like that.
Awesome. So, you heard it from the man, guys. He's got a ton of experience, and he's seen a lot evolve through the, let's say, speed and conditioning realm of fitness and how it's evolved over the years. Eric, what would you say you think over the years of training, whether youth athletes or collegiate athletes, what do you think has been the biggest change maybe over, let's say, the last 5 to 10 years as far as maybe programming and the way you do things?
Well, I think the challenge has been is the fact that we've got a generation of kids who are over-committed to sports and over-committed to playing those sports and not committed to training. So I think the biggest change has been, while more kids are playing sports, more kids are dropping out of those sports pretty quickly because they're not trained properly, over-committing to the games that they play. So for instance, I see, for that matter, I think in the adult population as well, they're doing way too many things and not focusing on how to be fit, how to remain healthy. That injury prevention, although I don't like that word, I like injury mitigation, how to lessen the likelihood of getting hurt. And that's the biggest change I've seen, this explosion in athletes doing multiple sports during the same season. And adults, I got to tell you, Amir, what really bothers me in the adult community is that this sudden fascination with that they have to train 7 days a week, high intensity, where there's no structure. They're just doing whatever's put up on a whiteboard and not following technique, not following anything. So the adults are even getting into that phase where they're overtraining and not understanding how to lessen the likelihood of hurting themselves.
That is, I've super on that field, but hey man, you segued right into my first question, which is, if you could tell somebody that's starting to either coach or starting to train in the fitness realm, what would be 3 things as a coach you would tell them, to focus on that would help them, have longevity and then also get great results? What would be 3 things you think you could recommend?
Well, sure. I think that evaluation's number one, so that you gain an understanding. And I don't care if it's a 7-year-old or a 57, 58-year-old trying to stay fit. Evaluate them, find out where their strengths and weaknesses are. Emphasize that what you're trying to do is keep their longevity going. Doesn't matter what age they are. I think secondly is really emphasizing the fact that being strong, so teaching them about strength is really, really important. To make sure that an athlete has a solid base and foundation. And then thirdly, to focus on nutrition, making sure that their nutrition is spot on, and making sure that their nutrition goes hand in hand with their training philosophy. And I tell you, it's interesting, Amir. I've learned an awful lot from you about the deadlift. And here I am. I've been a coach for a long time, and my focus was a lot of speed, agility, and knew a lot of the basic techniques for me to deadlift. But I needed a coach to tell me, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And it may not have been something I thought about for me. For other athletes, sure. So I think the evaluation process, being painfully honest about the fact that you need to lift weights to be less in the likelihood of injuring yourself, and making sure that the nutrition matches up with exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So I think those 3 things are paramount.
Awesome. I definitely agree with a lot of those, and that nutrition is a big part of what I do. What I would ask you is, what do you think over the years, obviously, I'm not trying to age you, but you do have quite a bit of experience under your belt, and you've been able to maintain a high level of fitness for quite a bit of time. I don't want to give your age up, but over the years, what do you think 3 things that have kept you, on track and able to not just continually train, but obviously coach at a high level, because you are training high level athletes sometimes, and you got to be on the where the dirt meets the rail, or whatever you want to call it. You got to be in there with them, digging in the dirt.
Sure.
So how do you feel like, what are some things that you feel have helped you maintain that ability?
Well, yeah, you okay with me telling people my age?
I'm okay with it. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I'm 49 years old, so I'll be 50 December 1, and had a total knee replacement last August. Here's what I would say. I competed pretty significantly in the 100 and the 200 all through my 20s and 30s. Post-collegiately, I just never stopped again. And, had many setbacks with injuries, whether they be soft tissue, hamstring injuries, back injuries, but I didn't stop. I didn't let that interfere with my continued passion for training. So I would say it ends up being this, that the hardest part is to tell younger coaches right now, don't stop. Don't just stop and forget about your fitness levels. If you get injured as well as you get older, and you're going to, is that you have to learn to work around those, and you have to learn to work around those. I'm a big believer in body work. I think that massage therapy is great. I've done acupuncture. I'm investigating dry needling. There might be some people out there that would say, oh, don't do that. There might be some people that say do it. I've done chiropractic. I've gone through everything. I did Reiki once with someone. It was very interesting to see that. So I believe in body work. I think you have to stay mobile. So, and I'm going to emphasize this. I'm not necessarily a proponent of all the flexibility routines and everything like that, but you need to stay mobile in your joint structures. I like yoga. I've tried that. And making sure that I address my ankle, my knees, my back, all those different aspects and those modalities that you have to do. And there also lies the hidden part of training, the mental aspect of it. And the mental aspect of it is, don't ever get into a situation where you feel that you can't do something because you're injured. You have to really, really, really dig deep into your own psyche to find out, hey, what's motivating you? What motivates you to be an athlete? And I call everybody an athlete in here. Everybody is. Because if you can move, you're an athlete. So I think those three areas of what kept me, that continuous training, the body work that I've done, and the mental training that I've done to keep myself on point after all these years. And I laugh. I'm like, wow, I've been competing as an athlete since I was 8 years old. So 41 years of competition.
That's awesome.
And by the way, Amir,
yes, sir.
For DFW, and I can tell everybody this, I have never found a system better for an adult to train, just as I've never seen a system better than Parisi to train a kid.
I'm going to have to agree
So
with you.
I do the workouts.
Yeah.
And the practices and everything. So that's why I would say this.
Well, a true coach leads from the front, my man. Again, leading right into my next question, talking about mindset, that's what usually stops people from obtaining their goals, I feel like. What do you think separated you mentally from maybe some other coaches? Fitness industry is a tough business. It's easy to get in and, get out of business real quick. It's definitely hard to maintain a fitness business, and you've been doing it for many, many years. What do you think mentally separates you, again, both maintaining your business and then also, again, with the athletics, talking about that mindset?
Well, I'd say first and foremost, and I'm sure you can relate to this, man, I love what I do. I love it. Like, I get up every day, and I tell everybody I talk to, I get to play all day in my business. I get to play. But what also I recognize, and it's taken a while to recognize this, it's not a hobby, it's a business. And if you market it correctly and you monitor it correctly and that you're paying attention to the details of the business, you'll run a very successful either speed school, dojo, personal training facility, whatever that might be. I think the difference is a lot of these coaches get into it just thinking, I just want to coach. And they don't realize, well, wait a minute, I got to pay rent, health insurance, I got equipment to buy, I've got to maintain my franchise or affiliate fees. So I think you have to balance that healthy balance between the passion and love you have for it with a certain level of business acumen. And I got to be really honest, I didn't have it when I first started. It's taken me it's 11 years from when I got a Parisi. My personal training business was operated a little bit differently, and now I'm going to laugh. You're going to laugh. Just now that I'm an adult and I have a child, I had to look at things a little differently. So, young coaches, you better understand the business to match it with your passion.
Yes, I'm all about learning and understanding that you do have to reach outside of your comfort zone, and talking about that. So, hey, what do you feel like over the years, again, being that you have had quite a bit of experience, how do you feel like your coaching impacts you as a father, and then vice versa, your fatherhood? How does that transfer into you as a coach and a business owner?
Well, I think number one, my being a dad has certainly changed the way that I view my level of patience with every level of athlete. And I think what it's also done is it's reinforced the importance of what we do, because what we're doing is building character, we're building leadership, we're building discipline. We always say that our vehicles are strength training, speed, flexibility, power, all those different things, but we're teaching life skills. The impact that we're making, the impact that we make across all ages and all levels of ability, is that you're teaching values. And so, there's the impact that I've been exposed to 2 programs that are teaching values, and it just simply reinforces every move I make with my own son, but it's also really solidified why I coach. And I'd say, Amir, I've always felt this way. That's why I gravitated to both Bill Parisi and Mark Rooney, because I already felt that way, that you're building character more than anything else. And for me, I say that's everything. That's why we do what we do, to serve other people and make them better.
I am, again, me and you, this is again why we mesh so well, and you're like my brother. We're very like-minded individuals in the way we feel and act. So, that's why, again, it's such an honor to have you on here, Eric, sharing some of your insight on, things that people struggle with. Everyone thinks that the road is going to be easy, and, having the guests that we have on here really shows that it is a long road. It is not easy. It's up and down. It's a struggle, but having the right mindset, surrounding yourself with the right people, doing the right thing also. One thing that I know, we had an event here last year. I'm sure some of the guests don't know about it, but something that you do, man, that inspires me, and, we could talk about it in length, but I just want you to talk a little bit about some of the special things that you do as far as coaching and charity events, and what you've done in the past, maybe so people can understand that it's not just about growing a business and coaching people that are at the highest level. Can you explain a little bit about what else you do that maybe the audience can understand?
Well, and I think that what's wonderful for everybody out there to realize, like, man, we are put on this earth to serve other people. Like, we're put here to serve and help people that are less fortunate than us. What's wonderful, and Amir's referring to, there's a boy down in South Carolina who has some issues, and we decided to do a fundraiser, and I couldn't do it in my dojo, and Amir and Rob immediately stepped up and said, hey, let's do it for them, and let's raise money for them, and we raised almost $2,000 for this family in need. And I've championed a lot of kids who've been victims of shaken baby syndrome, a form of abuse, and people I don't know, but I've come to know because it's the right thing to do to help others. And I've done many charity events for many kids who have been victims of this, and they're caregivers who are wonderful, incredible people. The sheer joy that they have, that you see that perfect strangers. And honestly, that's what it ends up being. Most of the people in the other dojos never know these people, but they follow them, say, on social media. And to date, we've raised over $20,000 for families. And I will tell you this, my goal is to build a foundation to help the caregivers of kids who are victims of this, just to get diapers and to get help with doctor's appointments and all these different things. So the network that we're a part of, for everybody out there in Understanding Training for Warriors, is the entire network embraces this. And, I'm not going to stop. And what's wonderful is I have a vehicle to do it. And what is embedded in us that's different, and I think it is very different from other programs, is that it is just at the foundation of what we do is to help others, and especially those who are less fortunate. And I've just been incredibly happy and blessed that I have something to give back with. And so that's where my mission is. And it's been pretty incredible, Amir.
Yeah, it is definitely incredible, man, and I'm honored to have been able to be a part of it and hope to be more a part of it in the future. One of the questions we've been talking with some of the other guests is, how competing has maybe evolved them, but I don't care about competing. How do you feel like maybe doing these events, you've coached youth athletes for many, many years, but how do you feel like doing these charity events has evolved you, not just as a person, but your mindset on your mission? And I know we talked about it just a little bit, but if you could, just how it has changed you, maybe, and what you do and how you go about your days.
Well, I would say this. It definitely, what it's done is it has certainly made me thankful for everything that I've got. And, there are a lot of times during those days, the days that are tough, and they're tough days, you take a step back and you really realize there are so many people that are less fortunate, and that you are so lucky and blessed to have what you have. And one of the biggest things for me is to really be able to give back more than I ever could have before. And also, I will tell you this, the patience level I have with my son has changed dramatically. Not raising my voice really in anger. If I have to raise my voice, it's to reinforce things for my son to be a stronger person. And for me, Amir, that's really important. It's made me a better family person, too, closer to my own family. And my family's scattered all over the country, but I'm closer to them as a result of what I've experienced. And here's what it is. It's not just doing drills and putting ladders out and doing all that. Man, the impact that coaching has made on my personal life has been dramatic. And my relationships, it's been dramatic with what I've seen. So what I would tell you is the experiences I've had have made me a better person, have made my character better. And that to me, that kind of coalesces everything that we strive for especially in Training for Warriors and Parisa.
Well, man, you're a solid gold person, so if that's making you better, I don't know how much better you're. You're one of the best people I know with a heart filled with gold.
I truly appreciate that.
And I appreciate you, man. I can't tell you enough about how, I could go on. Look, guys, this guy, I don't let too many people stay in my house. Eric's like a brother. So, for life, my man, I'm so happy that
and by the way, this guy can cook. Holy mother.
I appreciate that. Hey, so I want to just ask you, being that you've had such a wide realm from training athletes to being a coach to doing these charity events, what do you feel maybe some of your greatest achievements? Maybe let's give you your three greatest achievements that you've been able to accomplish, and we'll go into what you're looking to accomplish later on. But so far.
Well, Amir, I'd say for me, this is number one is being a dad. That's a whole different realm. Number one is being a father to a wonderful little boy who, I'm trying to teach him those core values and everything like that. I'd say in my business, the number one thing for me has been the charity events and reaching people on a deep emotional level as to how they can go out in their community, create those ripples to help other people. I'd say that's been number one. Number two, I think, is getting athletes to believe in themselves. So getting them to really, really believe that they can accomplish anything they want, because they really can. And I'd say number three would be this, is influencing and also being influenced by a brilliant network of people. I have to say that it's one of my greatest accomplishments is to be able to go out and spread the word of both of my programs that I'm a part of, whether it be certifying a Parisi staff and teaching them core culture and values, or talking to other TFWs and reinforcing all the values that have been taught to us. So I think those are the top three. And it's funny because a lot of people say, I've trained a lot of pro athletes, from NFL football players to pro tennis players, pro golfers, Major League Baseball players, and that wouldn't even be fifth or sixth on the list. So it's interesting how now, 25 years ago, I probably would have said something different. But as a result of what I've learned in these two, I'd say the industry leaders, those are the top three for me, Amir.
That's awesome. You're inspired the hell out of me, and so that third one really is, from obviously the other, it's all your opinion, but the third one hits me, man, because hey, the first time I met you and you told your story about how you were working with the autistic kids in your facility, and that very next day me and Rob reached out to you in the hotel lobby and we're like, hey, let's do this. And so for me to be able to do these things, man, it's an honor for me, and I wouldn't have let's say taken that first step without your influence, so I can't thank you enough.
Wow, wow, I truly appreciate those words.
I appreciate you, man. So you being an influence on me, who do you think are three people that you'd say would help influence you to where you are today and how you go about your ways.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think my dad was a major influencer, and the unfortunate thing with my father is I'm now older than my father was when he passed away. So my dad was 46, and I saw in my dad, I saw where, what my dad's weakness was a lack of belief in himself. And so in the end, that's what was his undoing in the end. So I've learned a lot from that experience as to how to be a better father. And I know, that's one part of it. A gentleman named Kevin Tolbert, who's now the head strength and conditioning coach at Michigan football, was a major influencer in my quest, because he's the one who told me, Eric, you're too talented to stay in personal training, go into sports performance. You will be a great coach. He's the first person that said that to me. And then thirdly, it's a joint one. I apologize for this, but it is Bill Parisi and Martin Rooney. Because without the two of them, I would absolutely not be where I am today with the two programs that I have and their passion for what they've created. And I hope people out there realize that, look at the people that we associate with. And a lot of people if they're listening especially about TFW, what Martin's created for all of us. And Amir, I'm sure you can just reinforce this. What a remarkable system he's created for coaching. And so I would have to say that I apologize that the third one was actually two people, but it's very synergistic.
It makes perfect sense, man, and it's absolutely okay. Don't worry, I forgive you. But I'm gonna leave this with one more question for you, Eric. I can't tell you enough again how thankful I am for your time today, and I'm sure everyone listening can definitely be thankful for the amount of knowledge you were able to share with us with your experiences. What are we were talking about it before we went on there, and I told you to save it for me. And so, what are some things you're working on currently, and that you have lined up for the future as well?
Well, number one, what I'm going to try to do is I want to head out to Oklahoma City and do a hurricane charity event for two young boys in the Oklahoma City area that were victims of shaken baby syndrome, and I reached out to their families, and I want to do a program for them. And Matt Carter and Paulie out there and TFW OKC have agreed that they want to do it. And finally in the fall, we're going to get out there and do that. And coincidentally, my brother just moved to Oklahoma City, so that's perfect. We definitely want to do that. We just finished a program for one of my TFW students. Her son, Declan, was lost to a rare brain tumor about 4 years ago. He was 5. And we raised money for his Declan's Full of Goodness Fund. We raised over $4,000 for that fund. And I made a commitment to Megan and her husband, Bill, that we are going to continue pushing to help grow awareness for pediatric cancer research, which there's not a lot of research that's done. The money is mostly for adults. And so we're going to push for that. I've got some things that are lined up right now with a former NFL defensive lineman that we're going to do a lineman camp. And the wonderful thing about that, Amir, is it's not just the skills. We're going to go into character development with these young minds and get them to really embrace, like, hey, man, you need to be quality people. If you intend to play football, you need to be a quality person. You need to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. And you have to have character. So we're going to be working on that. Further growth in TFW, we're just, we're just raising more awareness of people to just believe in themselves and get fit. So there's a lot of things going on that I'm really excited about. But I would say, going back to that, if you know that number one is the service element of it, and I want to do build more of a foundation to help people, and that's my goals right now.
You are a stud. I love it, man. Yo, but honestly, I look forward to seeing everything that's gonna come out of your way, because I love watching what you do. It's inspiring to me. And if you're listening, guys, and you didn't get inspired, you gotta go wake up, because this guy, if he doesn't motivate you with what he just talked about over the last 25-30 minutes, then you need to find your pulse, because, you know.
Well, you know, the great thing, Amir, is that you're a part of this. Like, you've been a part of the vision that I had. You're a part of this massive vision of TFW. And, you know, where would I be without my brothers and sisters? You know, I wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. And that's another motivating force for me.
Feeling is mutual, my man. All right, guys, one last question. Eric, where can people follow you to see what you're doing? Social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, where can they find you?
Well, you know, TFW Downingtown is definitely the place to look. Parisi Speed School Downingtown is definitely the place to look. I'm all over that. What I can do is, you're going to laugh at me right now. I can't even think of what my Twitter is right now. My brain's firing all over the place on my Instagram. I think that if anybody ever needs anything from me, and I really mean that, is to reach out and contact me through TFW Downingtown, through Parisi Speed School Downingtown. Look at us on Facebook, and reach out. Any questions you have, I am always available to talk to people about, you know, what their dreams are and what their endeavors are, and just thrilled to help in any way that I can.
That's why I love you, man. You are such a great, great man. Guys, Eric Mitchell dropping serious knowledge bombs today, guys. Check out our next episode coming soon. Thanks, Eric.